Hi everyone, so for today's lesson it's 8:11, common fractions, exploring multiplication of fractions that are less than, equal to, or greater than 1. So it sounds a lot trickier than what we've been doing, but really what we're doing is we're still multiplying fractions, and remember, to multiply a fraction you just multiply straight across. You multiply the numerators and then you multiply the denominators. However, now when we're done and we get our answer, now we're going to decide, okay, is it less than 1? Is it 1 exactly, or is it greater than 1? So it sounds hard, but it's really not. It's the same thing you guys have been doing. So let's go ahead and start with the step-in. It says Franco and Alyssa have created a multiplication game that uses 2 number cubes. They have written whole numbers on one cube and fractions on the other cube. They roll both cubes and multiply the whole number by the fraction. Here is the way they've scored points. A product, or an answer, that is greater than the whole number scores 1 point. Okay, so for instance, they're saying, okay, so if you have 4 multiplied by 3 over 2, so they're saying if the product is greater than that whole number, you score 1 point. Okay, a product equal to the whole number scores 2 points. So if it's equal to the whole number, which in this case is 4, you get 2 points. And a product that is less than the whole number gets 3 points. So a product that's less than that whole number would get 3 points. Okay, so we'll go ahead and start with this question right here. What will the score for each, I can't read this. What will be the score for each of these equations? So let's just do them together. So I'm going to start with this equation right here. You've got 5 multiplied by 3/4. Okay, so I know when multiplying fractions, what I really need to do is just multiply straight across. So the only thing that I notice is this 5 is a whole number. I need to turn that into a fraction. So what we know to do is to put it over 1. Okay, that's just saying I have 5 ones. Okay, now I'm able to multiply straight across. So 5 times 3 is 15. 1 times 4 is 4. Now I'm not done because that's an improper fraction. So now I have to ask myself, okay, how many times does 4 go into 15? Okay, 4, 8, 12. Goes in 3 times with 3 left over out of 4. Remember, I got that 3 because I had 12. I said 4 went into 15 3 times, which was 12, 13, 14, 15. So I have 3 left over. So my answer is 3 and 3/4. So now I have to figure out what score did this person get on that roll. Well, the answer was 3 and 3/4. So I have to look back at how they scored things. It says a product greater than the whole number scores 1 point. So if you remember, our whole number that we started with was 5. So I have to ask myself, okay, is 3 and 3/4 greater than 5? No, that one doesn't apply. A product equal to the whole number scores 2 points. 3 and 3/4, is that equal to 5? No. Or a product less than the whole number scores 3 points. Well, 3 and 3/4 is less than 5, so I know this person on this roll scored 3 points. Okay? Let's try the next one. Looks like we're multiplying 4 by 3 over 2. Okay? So in this case, our whole number is 4. Now, in order to multiply straight across, I need to put that into fraction form, so I need to put that over 1. So that's just saying I have 4 ones. Now I'm able to multiply straight across. 4 times 3 is 12, and 1 times 2 is 2. Now, I realize I have an improper fraction, so I have to ask myself, how many times does 2 go into 12? You know the answer to that. You should. It's 6. Okay, so we know our answer is 6. Now the whole number that we started with was 4, remember? So now we have to go through our answer key. A product that is greater than the whole number scores 1 point. So, so a product that is greater than the whole number scores 1 point. So 6, is it greater than 4? Yes. So in this case, this person only scored 1 point. Alrighty. Now we'll go ahead and do this part right here, this A, together. So it says complete each equation. Looks like you'll be taking 3/4 multiplied by 2/5. Now these are already in fraction form, so you can go ahead and just multiply straight across. 3 times 2 is 6. 4 times 5 is 20. So your answer is 6/20. You can either simplify that or you can leave it as is. So go ahead and finish that with the rest of these purple ones. And then look down here where it says 2a. It says look at each equation from question 1. Write equivalent fractions so it's easy to compare the product with the first factor. What they mean by that is they want to compare the first factor, which in this case, for this first problem, is 3/4. The first factor just means the first thing they multiplied by. So they want to compare this number to the answer. That's what they're saying. They just want to compare this number to the answer. Okay? So the first factor, they said, okay, let's compare it. Let's change that so that it has the same denominator as the product or the answer. Okay? So we knew that our answer was 6/20. Okay? You can see that right here, 6/20. So they want to figure out, okay, let's compare 3/4 to 6/20. And we know that when we compare fractions, we need to have them as the same denominator. Okay? So how do I get a denominator of 4 to turn into a denominator of 20? What do I need to multiply by? Okay, how do I turn a 4 into a 20? Well, I know that I need to multiply by 5. Okay, so whatever I do to the top, I must also do to the bottom. 3 times 5 is 15. 4 times 5 is 20. So your answer would be 15/20. So now when I'm going to compare them, the first factor is 15, oh golly, 20. I don't know why I'm writing this when you can already see it, but it's fine. And then your answer was 6/20. And then later on, once you fill in these and these, you'll notice you have to answer question 3. It says, look at your answers for questions 1 and 2. Write less than, equal to, or greater than to complete the statements below so that it is true for all the equations in question 1. If the first factor is multiplied by a number less than 1, the product will be blank the first factor. So what they want you to do is they want you to write the number either less than, equal to, or greater than right here. Okay, so it says, I kind of have to read this a second time because it's a lot of information to take in, so just take it chunk by chunk. Look at your answers for questions 1 and 2. These are questions 1 and these are questions 2. Write less than, equal to, or greater than to complete the statement below so that it's true for all the equations in question 1. If the first factor, remember that's the first number you're multiplying by, is multiplied by a number less than 1, the product will be less than, equal to, or greater than the first factor. Okay? So when we took this first factor and we multiplied it by a number less than 1, did I get a number that was bigger than 6/20? Well, let's see. Here I have them right here set up, ready to go so I can compare. Was 6/20 bigger than 15/20? No, it wasn't. 6/20 is smaller than 15/20. So I know, I'm going to assume, because I haven't finished the rest of these, that this most likely is going to be less than. Whoa, that is so awful. I tried. Okay, I know this is kind of confusing and a lot to take in, so if you guys want to Zoom, just go ahead and email me and we can do that. Go ahead and try these problems. And you can try 7. You may or may not get confused. I won't be too upset if you skip 7 and if you skip step ahead. But good luck, guys.